Josuke Higashikata versus Part 3 Stardust Crusaders. Not the Crusaders in the part, but the entire part that itself. Josuke is going to be running the gauntlet, and to help me with this, I brought on Metas, and he can introduce himself now.
Hello, everybody. It's your host, Swag Kage here. Actually, no, it's Metas. How you doing?
What the heck?
Nobody's going to get that joke unless you're a power scaler. But yeah, what's up? It's your boy, your regular, JoJo power scaler. I'm very happy to be here. Been a fan of Kaleb for a very long time. One of the OGs I used to watch back in the day. But, of course, I do my own content now. So it's a little bit different nowadays. But I am happy to be here. And I'm actually kind of really excited to do this type of video because I've always wanted to do a gauntlet video, but I just never did it. But I'm here now. So I know I'm the guest here, but I do have a lot of scaling and power scaling knowledge that might be a little bit unique to, I guess, a more casual fan here. So I will be spitballing words out here that might not be fully understood, but I think I'll try to explain them best I can with the, I guess, the overall scaling of these characters. But it shouldn't be too crazy, at least compared to a lot of other stands in this series. I'm looking at you, GR, Wonder Review, and Soft and Go Beyond, you bastards.
So I think a good starting point, well, is at least like, what are we gonna consider
the scaling?
As villains, I guess.
Oh,
like
I guess everybody
Tower of Grey is like our villain, but I think we start off a bit earlier with possessed Kakyoin.
Oh yeah. I was gonna do that. I was gonna do everybody who fights Jotaro. It's basically the Jotaro gauntlet plus everybody else.
Yeah, that makes sense. We begin with possessed Kakyoin. Let's say in the school, Josuke in that position.
Okay, I guess to summarize so you don't have to do it like the entire way. It's basically replace whatever character is fighting the villain with Josuke. Nothing too wild. So
yeah, exactly.
So I guess this is where I come in with my scaling. So this is going to be fun for Kaleb to edit. But more or less, if we are going to do some crazy scaling here, and it's okay, I'll take it back. It's not too crazy, but with scaling Josuke, you basically just scale him off of Part 4 Jotaro. And with this, it's not too crazy. Josuke should scale around Jotaro pretty relatively. He should be at least below him, and depending if you get him pissed off with his hair, he technically can be stronger than him in terms of stats. Now, how do we actually get here? Because there actually is some numbers or at least, big nerd power scaling terms to actually throw here. More or less, you can get Jotaro to, depending on screen here, at a low ball in terms of AP to small city level to at least on a very high ball here, large mountain level in terms of AP. How do we get there? Well, more or less on screen now should be the sun calculations. More or less the stand, the sun, at least in terms of what it was shown in the manga and the scans on screen. And I think I'll give Kaleb the link to the stuff that is on screen because there's a lot here, but more or less to give a TLDR summary, the sun, the stand is literally just basically the sun, more or less, and Polnareff is basically able to deflect laser beams or light rays from the stand, the sun. And we know the calculations for that on screen now, you can see them, is extremely good. That's like a really good thing for Polnareff. But we know through the entire part that Jotaro is scaled above all of his friends. So basically everybody except for Iggy basically says that Jotaro is stronger than them, bar none. Everybody says it. Literally everybody. Everybody says Jotaro is stronger than them. So a calc like this, basing it off of Polnareff, should also scale to him being faster than light at bare minimum here, and of course being around that AP level. Note, it's also stated in part 6 that Jotaro should be basically faster than light, basically surpassing it thanks to a couple of the stand stat guides in part 6, like I mentioned. So more or less a very, very basic summary of how this stand works. Star Platinum should be at least of course, that AP range and massively faster than Light Plus because of that. Where this comes into Part 4 is a lot of people here like to discuss the fact that Part 4 Jotaro is somehow weaker. No, that is a misconception. Part 4 Jotaro is just weaker in terms of time stop. In terms of stats, lore-wise in universe, it is heavily explained that Jotaro is probably doing things for the Speedwagon Foundation. What that is, we don't know. We know that he's buddies with Polnareff after Part 3, and he's doing stuff, at least during Jolene's lifetime, that is not being around here. Poor Jolene. So yeah, Jotaro should be really powerful. I've explained it on my channel multiple times, so I guess shameless plug there. Jotaro is really powerful. Massively faster than Light Plus statements thanks to Part 6, and his AP should be around Silver Chariots, if not above that, thanks to the calcs from the sun. So more or less, that's the general idea. So Josuke should be around there, just tone it down a notch. So you can probably mid-ball him and just say he's like large, like, I don't know, city level, and his AP should at least be around the same, depending on who you put him up against. Of course, there's the whole like Red Hot Chili Peppers thing too, but more or less that's where he could be. Now there is a second way to interpret this, and that is some guides like JoJo6251, if I remember correctly, and JoJo Gogo basically state that depending on how you view it, Josuke, its stat-wise, might just be overall stronger than Jotaro. No, that's probably because they're viewing it like, you know, the hair statement is that like his base power for whatever reason. It's really weird, but there's like two ways you can scale Josuke. Either he's slightly weaker than a Part 4 Jotaro, who should still technically scale to a Part 3 Jotaro, or he's just stronger than him. But I'm assuming that's on a like a Rage hair amp. So nothing too crazy here. Basically, Josuke is similar to Jotaro, but just a bit weaker. And I guess, do you want to explain Josuke's ability, since I did the power scaling?
Oh yeah, sure. For going into Restoration and Crazy Diamond stuff, we've seen him just break down entire, what do we call them? Like just things down to like their
base
chemical
components.
Compounds.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like we've seen him be capable of just pulling some type of alchemy type beat and fusing
things together.
Man with rock. You know, like that, like fusing Angelo with a rock. And he's also very quick thinking with his restoration ability. We've seen him defend himself against Kira Yoshikage in like real time, being able to defend himself, smacking up the stuff too. You said, huh?
No, hold on. I was gonna say Josuke has like he's shown to be extremely smart with his stand, so it's like, he's good. The kid's good.
Definitely. No, he's done a great job. I also think like it makes sense too, because this is with the guidance of a post Part 3 Jotaro.
Yeah.
And like even something like as simple as like the rat fight contributed like heavily later, because you have the glass heart like he blasted it in the same exact way to get to Kira, and it's like, bro, he's clearly thinking on his feet. He's doing amazing at this.
Well, Josuke is just straight up, I wouldn't say a carbon copy of Jotaro, but like they're similar.
Yeah, like
similar.
He's like, oh yeah, like you get Jotaro, you get like Yusuke Urameshi.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
Aside from restoring stuff in general, there was what is it? There was the fight against Highway Agogo.
You mean Highway Star? Oh, you said Highway Agogo. Wait, why'd you reference its English name? Keep that in the video. What's wrong with you?
So yeah, there was the fight against Highway Gogo, and he was able to just trap him inside of the car after like, what is it? Because he was breaking his way.
All through Morio. Yeah, he was like going through Morio, just destroying stuff, and like he constructively like used restoration to like either stop him or just like put up a wall, so he gave himself more time to get away on the motorcycle, and then he broke down the motorcycle and then repaired it.
He did that cool ass flip against the little baby, and so it's like, yo, wait, hold on, this is fire.
Josuke, at least in that fight alone, shows that he's smart. He knows how to use his restoration ability, and the kid can think quick on his feet. So like Josuke's got that dog in him.
I think to say the least, he actually like gives like, I think because of his like battle IQ alone, he gives a lot of characters like a run for their money, like genuinely speaking. And honestly, like it makes me think, I'm like, bro, the rap fight was not the only, like Jotaro had to have been coaching this guy, like a lot more on the side or something, because he's for real cooking.
Or inherently he's just that good.
Oh yeah, also it's like, because that's one of the things too about like the Joestars.
They're inherently just that good, like for whatever reason.
Yeah.
More or less, Josuke is just comparable to Jotaro, massively faster than light plus speeds, extremely strong. Also, another thing, AP doesn't actually mean he's blowing up shit with his fists. It just means he's just equivalently throwing out punches that could do that. So it's around, he's putting out the energy to do that. So this is of course referencing Star Platinum. So, and if we're comparing him to Crazy Diamond, it should be around that area, around that level. So massively faster than light plus speeds. AP somewhere being around either small town level to large mountain level in terms of AP. The kid knows how to use his restoration ability very effectively in very tight situations. Josuke is an overall extremely powerful stand user compared to Star Platinum and Jotaro Kujo.
So with that in mind, I think we go into
The Gauntlet.
Hierophant Green, right?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely the Gauntlet. We have Possessed Hierophant Green. I think one of the things about it too was, I think at least in the sense of like Possessed Kakyoin, I think he thinks better, legitimately speaking, at least like, well, the Flesh Bud, would you see that as like a debuff? If honestly,
I wouldn't actually see it as debuff. I would actually see it as probably like him letting loose. Like, I guess we're bringing up Jotaro again. Jotaro, I'll even state it later on in the video because I actually have to bring it up for an argument. But Jotaro is always consistently holding back. Like, he can blast a hole through Kakyoin. Like, I'm not even, like, he can.
Yeah, we've seen him do it to Dio.
Yeah, so
and he doesn't have the same durability.
Yeah, definitely does not have the same durability if you're, surviving punches that can, level a mountain. But, regardless of that, like, the Flesh Bud probably, in the case of these villains, actually probably is a good thing. So I wouldn't see it as a debuff, more like, I'm going to go all out here because I'm here to defeat you. So it's probably more of a buff than a debuff. But even then, if I'm actually going to just cut this fight cut and dry, because I don't think we need to really discuss this one very in-depthly, Josuke probably fights Kakyoin and Hierophant Green probably a lot better than Jotaro did just because of restoration. Like, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Josuke's clocking him in easy, no difficulty. I'm not even really going to even debate this. Like, the kid probably is just going to outspeed him and just hit him with a rock. Funny enough,
because
like, it's
this
easy.
this is because we have to really, like, we put it together. It's like Jotaro, like, Jotaro's fighting of it, and any like initial hit he's taken in the fight or whatever, I'm like, this is like the earliest Jotaro too. Like, this is it was like he hasn't done anything yet. Vetted, you know, like, yeah, exactly. Over time, he gets vetted. Like, he becomes the Jotaro that we recognize. And this is like, in our situation, this is like we completed Diamond is Unbreakable. Like, this is
a highball Josuke, I guess we could say here.
Yeah,
in this scenario.
Like, this is like the Josuke for this. And because, like, a low key Jotaro completely smacked Hierophant Green.
He washed him.
Bro, he blew out like the side of the school just by punching this dude up.
Casually, by the way. He wasn't going all out.
He was just like, oh, let me put this guy down. He's doing a little too much. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. So, but we
Josuke clears him. It's not even up for discussion. It's probably even better than what he did against I guess just regular Jotaro. So I guess technically, is it Silver Chariot next, right?
It's Flesh Bud, Silver Chariot, and he's going in for the kill. And
this one's interesting because so this ability only ever shows up one time in the manga. In the anime, it's a bit different, but like armor off. Image? Yeah, the after image.
Armor off.
Armor off. Silver Chariot actually might be a threat here a little bit because this was with the Flesh Bud amp, because it's like, oh, he's going for the kill here, but Josuke should be fine. This is probably where it's like, oh, it's a bit difficult just because of the massive like speed difference, because it's also stated in part 3 that in terms of strength, Star Platinum crushes Silver Chariot, because of course all of part 3 scaling is based off of Silver Chariot. Funny enough. But more or less, if Star Platinum, at least when it comes to Polnareff explaining it later on, is stronger than Silver Chariot, in this case, while there might be an argument for there could be a contention with speed, if Josuke actually tries here and uses his restoration correctly, I guess defensively speaking, even against like an after image Silver Chariot, he should be fine. He'll probably come out damaged, definitely, but he should be good. There's gonna be a fight here, but it's not like, oh, like Josuke is against the corner, he doesn't know what to do. He should be fine here. If he's able to fight like Highway Star on the fly and make everything fine against somebody like if Josuke is able to fight Highway Star, a stand that's chasing him down to defeat him, and he's able to do all these things with restoration, if he's fighting Silver Chariot, he should be fine. The speed might be an issue, but I don't think there should be anything crazy here.
Yeah, I honestly, because I do give it to Josuke. It's just like, for me, Silver Chariot's speed
the
definitely
only problem.
like he's not like Josuke isn't like I don't think he comes out like extremely damaged.
He's coming out with like a hurt arm or something. He's getting
yeah. I think that he definitely comes out here. He's hurt, but with how much he can do with just the restoration alone and like even a surrounding area and just like if we're placing in the same scenario, Josuke does have a lot more to work with than just like let's say like a fictional room for example. But
Yeah.
he takes off the armor. He loses
his durability.
his durability.
So like unironically, okay, now that you actually mentioned it, unironically, Josuke can actually probably one shot here. I'm not even joking.
Like if Josuke, because Josuke is going to make contact at least once. And that's really all that he needs, considering that he's that strong by comparison, and plus the Silver Chariot gives himself a defense debuff for more speed.
He clears. He should be fine here. Maybe like a couple scratches. Josuke should be fine.
But when he gets in, he gets in. It's like
he gets in.
He's not taking
now to actually get to the villains of the actual part. Tower Grade. This is interesting because of the surroundings, but who actually won that fight? Because this is where you need to check.
It was Kakyoin.
Oh, yeah.
Kakyoin. He essentially like mind finagled Tower of Grey.
Yeah, okay.
And had the Hierophant Green's tentacles just pierce through the stand, and then rip it apart.
Yeah. This one's weird because even Jotaro said he'd have a problem with Tower Grade because of the environment. But even then, this might be a case where restoration can actually be pretty OD, where he could just like set up like, oh yeah, you're stuck in a room with me now. Like he just makes a box or something, and he's like, well, now you can't get anywhere, and now you're quite literally, and I'll even bring this up because in Red Hot Chili Peppers it is brought up. The closer you are to Josuke, the more he becomes like Star Platinum. So the minute like Tower Grey gets boxed in or like he gets close, it's basically game over, and there isn't like 5 dudes trying to fight him. It's just Josuke. So he should actually probably do better than Kakyoin here, but only by a little bit. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I also give him the fact that like I think Josuke, because one of the things too is like, let me limit the amount of casualties like around, because they're on the plane, there's a lot of people there, and it's just like, man, like I need to beat this guy's ass, and he's like killing a lot of people, but you don't want like a lot to be done and a lot of potential harm, and I think that's the one thing that like restoration really does get it over in both ways, because not only can he essentially create this like this frame trap scenario for Tower of Grey, he also like, even if he gets like someone damaged, like he can most likely handle that off anyways. Like it's like, oh, say if I need to turn this this airplane chair into something else, I'm going to revamp it, and it's like we're using this like as a deflection or just like a, what is it called, like a distraction.
Like he could,
he has a lot to work with. Yeah. And he'd be fine. Like that's like a huge thing for him.
Yeah,
honestly,
here.
Yeah, he definitely got it.
He probably would do a little bit better, but not by much. It'd basically more or less be the same. Nothing too crazy.
We have Dark Blue Moon.
Okay, so this is interesting because in part 3, it's heavily emphasized like stands can like do things, like it can like extend themselves or something. Starfinger. More or less, this should almost be the same. Like I wouldn't see any difference. Like I think it'd be probably 1 for 1, because are the barnacles part of Dark Blue Moon? Because if it's part of the area, Josuke can just reset it.
No, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Because say, like, even if Josuke is in the water, Dark Blue Moon actually, it creates the barnacles, but
if they're from the natural environment, he should be able to reset it.
Yeah, and even like Josuke, with his quick thinking, I think even if he was to be like the attempt to be like knocked into the water or anything like that, he, let's say, just breaks off a piece of the ship, like one of the and we've seen him restore, the railing, exactly. And we've seen him restore himself back to using pieces from random things in general. So say like, even if he can't restore the barnacles to like help him like transport back to the ship itself, and say that he can't, like in someone else's scenario, like say like, oh, okay, what if he can't use like Crazy Diamond Starfinger type deal. Even then, with those things in mind, he's quick thinking in general, and like, even if he doesn't break the railing, like say he doesn't have anything like that, say if he's like on the ground floor of the ocean, being on the ground floor still means that he has a lot to work with, because he does.
Yep, it's Caleb, editor's note here. Essentially, what I was trying to get across was that if Josuke was put into a similar position where he was sent to the seafloor like Jotaro, he would have the, I guess, prowess to break up the ground itself and then use it to his advantage. That's basically it. Sometimes the ideas I'm trying to convey in real time is a bit difficult because my ADHD, it bounces a lot in my head, but yeah, that's about it.
You could argue
out of nowhere.
Yeah, you could argue that maybe he'd do better just because of restoration is just a good ability. Like Star Platinum actually had like nothing until like the ending of part 3. So like
yeah, exactly.
He should be fine here. So I guess we move on to strength. This one's
strength.
It's you know what? Unironically, is the boat independent of the stand? Because like, can he use restoration? Because could he just like make the manipulation of the boat just go back to normal? Because if that's the case, he quite literally can speed run strength. I'm not even joking.
It's a binding ability. Like you can like I think it's based on like the consciousness of strength of forever, like the orangutan. And because I think as long as strength is like not incapacitated, the ship is up, but it's also shown that you can use parts of the ship, like it works like a functional ship, like you can just do things of the ship, and it's like you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think in this case it's basically like Jotaro again. He should be fine. I don't think even then he probably could speedrun him too. I think he can speedrun.
Realistically speaking, yeah, like everything sent after Josuke, as soon as like, because the thing is Jotaro has the and he's like breaking it away. The thing is that Josuke can just
put it back again.
Said things to just just send it back. Or maybe just do his own Josuke stuff, like for example, like the pipes of the ship are like they're used to like tangle around Jotaro. Josuke do and like just reverts it back to like, oh man, maybe he tries to send it back to Forever, and even if Forever like tries to like maintain control of it, he's still like losing. He's like losing focus by Josuke just creating so much for him to work against.
Yeah, like Josuke
I just
clears.
don't see that. I just don't see him being able to do anything against him.
So and then that next is probably even a faster clear here is Ebony Devil.
Ebony Devil is so cooked.
I think we actually can just speed run over this. It's like everything he does in the room just automatically gets reset. It's over. I don't even want to discuss it. Ebony Devil gets bodied. No diff difficulty.
Like, what is he like? I honestly is just like, oh, don't you know that I just be getting stronger off of pain and hatred? And it's like, well, you're healed, and it's like,
game over, loser, and then done.
He's just cooked.
He's cooked.
Yeah, we're done with that. Yeah. We get on to
now
Yellow Temperance.
Yellow Temperance is a bit weird now, because this is where Jotaro first had a problem, and we know the weakness is water here. And Josuke can't heal himself. So it's just like, ooh, now it's a problem. I think restoration, this actually might be Josuke's first, like, oh shit moment. But I think it could end up the same. Like, Josuke isn't really known for running away. So it would be weird. This might be a scenario where Josuke would have to, like, figure out his own way to do it. But but due to restoration and stuff, like, Josuke could probably just, like, hard, like, rely on it. And he could win. Like, I don't really see, like, him going to the water. Like, I just don't see him running. Like, it's not Josuke. But I won't lie. If I see Yellow Temperance users, like, making fun of him, maybe. And it could end up leading to a hair scenario where he just speed blitzes him, which could be funny.
Yeah.
Because he does make fun of Jotaro a little bit. So there could be a bit of banter here, which could lead to some problems.
I think that's actually at least of all the characters we mentioned, I definitely think Rubber Soul is going to overstep. Like he falls in line with like just those types of characters, like even like Rohan, right? Like it's just like he looks like he's going to trigger Josuke's like just hair buff in general,
and just it's over.
And he clears at that point, but I'm like, okay, let's say let's say Rubber Soul's all like, oh, gonna chill out, but even then, with the whole just like the quick thinking of Jotaro's like water blast, like he funneled all that water and just like it shot up and hit him with like the freaking the sewer, what is it?
Sewer water. Or like manhole or something.
The manhole, yeah, like the manhole cover and the water, and he just like skyrocketed this guy's stuff all the way up. And I think that with Jotaro, like with that in mind, like Jotaro's doing, I'm like, okay, Jotaro at this point, so early on in his journey, is doing something like this to stop Rubber Soul. And with that in mind, it's just like, yeah, I don't see Josuke losing this, because it wouldn't even...
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make any sense. He just has it like that.
Josuke's smart, and if... I guess maybe in a sense to maybe take back on my word, maybe you could technically see the Yellow Temperance fight as like a mini version of like Highway Star. So he could end up figuring it out. Like, this fight's weird. It's depending on how you want to see it, and depending on just how we're like saying it here. If it's like a 1-for-1 from like, the actual Part 3 manga, it's like, okay, there might be a little bit of a problem here, but it wouldn't be anything too crazy. Like, he should be fine. He could figure out the weakness, or he could just speed blitz him and just clock him.
Yeah, it's like between a good like lesson, like a vibe check. It's like it's between that and just, oh, you're dead. That's at least with that's like the high ball area being like, okay. Yeah.
it wouldn't be too anything. So I guess this next is, so we're gonna do Hangman and Emperor together, or we're gonna do them independent.
See that's
I think we should do 1-on-1. Because the Hangman and Emperor fight was with Kakuin. Unless we're bringing fucking Okuyasu in real quick.
No, we're just no. If that's happening, it's just all like, yo, Okuyasu, don't worry. And then like Whole Horse is a lot closer. It's just like, oh, I'm cooked.
If Star Platinum is stronger than Silver Chariot, and Josuke is... if he's able to react to like Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff, and stands like Star Platinum, Hangman shouldn't be any... It should be actually around the same level as the argument we had with Silver Chariot. Like, Hangman isn't gonna do anything. Like, he's coming out with a couple scratches and stuff. He's clocking him. Like, he's gonna go find his user, and it's game over. I really don't see any difference there. The Emperor is a bit differently, because Emperor has range, and that could be a problem. But yet again, instant wall up like it's fucking League of Legends. Like, there's the problem. Like maybe together they're a lethal duo. And it actually could be a very interesting fight if Josuke has to fight them 1-on-1. But since this is kind of mirroring the actual manga, I don't think we're going to do that here. Because, I don't know, we can bring in, like... I think anybody from Part 4 actually would do some heavy damage here. Like,
it's going to be like a hilarious... Because, like, yeah, you're going to have freaking Koichi. You're going to have Okuyasu. And it's just like, oh, all right.
To be honest, what this video is kind of shaping up to be is the stand abilities in Part 4 actually are just OD as shit.
We get on into Empress, which...
He does it like his dad. Quite literally. Probably. He does it like his dad, but more humorous. I guess Wheel of Fortune, this is... I don't really know how ZZ Top's actually going to do this. Like if Jotaro can do it, Josuke should too. And definitely because he has restoration here again. That car ain't doing nothing. It's getting flatlined. Like, unironically, like, Josuke probably, in this scenario, probably just very similar to, like, Hierophant Green and Kakuin. He probably unironically does it better. Like, all of a sudden the car's coming at him, wall hits the wall or something, or like he like forces the tires into the ground or something, and like the car can't move properly, and then he just proceeds to like Dora him or something to like the ground, like his user or something. Like, this one isn't too much different from like any of the other ones. Like, Restoration's like kicking ass here.
Yeah, and what is it? Like, even like the car itself too, because we see Wheel of Fortune with the ability to get damaged. Like, it adapts after it. Like, the car gets messed up, but then it adapts after. I think the idea is that, like, Josuke himself could, like, not exactly implode, like, the car, but, like, the surrounding area, the insides of the car, he could make it close in on itself
Or he
and
just like stab it through with a grand or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there's just a lot that he has to work with against it.
Yeah, like Wheel of Fortune was quite literally fodder. Like it's not much different from his like the actual in canon fight. Now Justice is interesting. Now we're finally actually getting to like the actual stance. Like this is the point where we entered the problem territory. Now Justice is weird, but Josuke could probably unironically do some more creative things here thanks to restoration. I don't really know. Like he could trap Enya somewhere with it, or like there's the like Enya's just the problem here. Like everything else in the town won't be a problem. Like he should be realistically here fine. Like maybe you could say he chokes her out or something. Like he does the whole breathe effect too, like Star Platinum does. But like it there really shouldn't be anything too difficult here. Maybe Josuke kind of figures out a different idea, like I don't know, encloses Enya in a rock ball, or technically he could because maybe here he does the same thing he does against what the fuck's his face? I forgot his face.
Angelo.
Like he just basically does the same thing to Angelo here, like. Oh fuck, I can't actually like do anything here to actually stop you. Get turned into a rock.
Yeah, that
game over.
That was one of the things I was thinking about, because it's just how like he fought against Angelo and Aqua Necklace, and it's just like, yeah, this stand was water vapor at a time. Like I think since he had that experience before, Justice and Enya cleared, because Josuke kind of already he's gotten to this before with Angelo, like that. Like so
he should.
That's kind of the idea.
So next here, this is the problem. Lovers. I honestly here this controversial opinion. If it's anything like the actual fight in part 3, where Josuke just has to be a bitch until the very end where he actually clocks him, he could win. But if it's actually like a one-on-one fight, unironically, Lovers could one-shot you because it's small.
Yeah, no, it's gonna intercept. It's gonna get inside your brain, and then I can't. Because the thing is, one thing, like the whole idea that Josuke can't heal himself
is the problem,
or like just is a huge problem. But I think,
but that's really anybody who fights Lovers that wasn't in this exact scenario. Like Lovers, unironically, is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But okay, question, because this is where you have to correct me too here. Lovers is one stand that multiplies, right? Is he a hive stand or no? Because if it's an individual one, and if you can make the argument that Josuke is like as perceptive as Star Platinum, or at least Josuke, he could just like intercept the small bug and just like, I'm gonna crush you with my fingers.
No, I think that's the idea. I think because he clones, like that's the idea. It clones when it's in there, like so what is it? It takes the brain cells.
Oh yeah. Now
and
I remember.
Then clones. Yeah.
So if Lovers can't do that, and Josuke, and if you make a decent argument here, where I think you can just compare him to Star Platinum easy, he can beat Lovers. Like if it's out of pocket, and if Josuke does see him, if he doesn't, he loses. This is guaranteed loss. Done. I will concede argument there, but I think Josuke should be able to beat Lovers.
Yeah, I literally in like both situations, because I think I think like the only thing is that like say he's put like the exact same position. I know that Steely Dan, I don't know when he's going to overstep with the hair.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Nah, man, he's speed blitzing unironically. Like, he wouldn't even be able to... Oh, nah, I take it back. I actually think he actually clears. Because if he does make fun of him, it's over.
He's going to be all like, yeah, you and your whack-ass hair. And it's like, hold on.
Nah, then it just speed blitzes him.
Yeah, really I actually... No, that's actually the case. I think... Because say that he's, like, trying to cook him, but he's also sending out Lovers at the same time. Not only is Crazy Diamond, like, crazy perceptive, he's going to just be all, like, that initial click, that Ultra Instinct click in his head...
It's over.
It's gonna be like, oh, okay, and it's like he's done. He's like,
like he'd end up just speed blitzing Lovers at that point. Like it's actually Lovers would, unironically, even if the thing was in his brain, if that were to click, how it's actually stated in the series, how that kind of rage amp works. He becomes so angry, nothing else matters. So like lovers could try to do something, but it probably wouldn't be able to react, and he just fucking destroys Steely Dan. Like,
no, yeah,
easily.
Like it's like, bro, this is the same guy that like ignored Rohan. Like he's just like I don't abide by this. I'm blinded with rage.
And not to mention, I did a Rohan video once, so the scaling on Rohan is pretty crazy.
It's like, crazy, yeah.
You can get him to like infinite speeds because of Made in Heaven. I'm not going to discuss it here, but like Josuke with the rage amp, he wins. Like he's crushing lovers. I'm just saying
definitely.
that.
We're on to the Sun and Arabia Fats.
Yeah, this one, he can just. I don't.
Chucks a rock.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest. That's how this. Like he should be fine if Josuke, like if it's the same exact scenario, just find cover and at they're
gonna literally like in the exact situation he's gonna be like, oh, Dokuda, like where's the stand user? And then he's gonna see the damn like reflection of the rock, and it's like
he's gonna start laughing.
Oh man, this is hilarious. Oh, this guy's cooked. And then he takes care of him in the same way.
Yeah, it's like easy claps. Like if even the scaling proves that he should be fine. I literally brought it up in the beginning of the video.
Yeah, no, he literally, yeah.
He
we already have the scaling for the fact that like he took care of the Sun, anyways. Like so now I guess we're up to
Death 13. Now this is an interesting one. This is better than the lovers in this scenario. Josuke falls asleep and he can't wake up. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I think that's kind of like that's like the idea. It's like
he does wake up. The baby is not going to be babying anymore.
No, like I definitely think like Josuke's like, hey, look, I'm not gonna punch this baby, but like let's put him somewhere else because I'm not doing this no.
So yeah, Death 13 is one of those scenarios where technically it can one shot if you get stuck in the realm and you don't have a way to wake up. But if this is like Stardust Crusaders and you have like that one chance and the baby's like next to him or like he finds the user, he'd be like, well, I'm gonna throw you now, and like it's game over.
No, literally. That's the thing with like the Death 13 arc. It's just they gave room like 3 separate occasions.
Yeah. If it's story wise here, he should be good.
Yeah. And in the sense, yeah, like say that because that's one of the things too. Like people like to think about like, oh, like 1v1 scenarios, and it's just all like 1v1 scenarios.
You have to give one character an advantage to even make it work.
Yeah. Like he literally has to be asleep.
That baby is cooked. Judgment's weird. Do you even? I'm gonna be honest. I'm showing my ignorance here. What the hell did Judgment do? Did he just like make shit up?
So yeah, that's the idea. So Judgment, his stand ability is lying. No, but
he's capping on the timeline.
It's wish granting.
Oh,
yeah, he's capping on the timeline in front of everybody. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he has this essentially, right. So imagine this is the scenario. It's like Josuke and Judgment, and it's like, oh, Judgment, I'm a genie in a bottle, you know, like the song. And you can do the wishes, but the whole idea is I was like, okay, it's a wish granting ability that transforms anything exactly, like it transforms clay or dirt or whatever into whatever the person's asking for, like fake people, fake coins.
Like maybe like this is weird. What would Josuke ask for? Maybe his grandpa back if we're gonna do that. Maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly
that's the only wish I can think of because the other ones would just be like kids like, oh, like I want a new Nintendo, or he could be totally selfish and just ask for like mundane shit like I want new shoes, I want some Jordan 4s. I need
no, definitely, yeah, because if this is end of DIU Josuke, I imagine that by now he's like at peace with
everything,
the death of his granddad, and like he's just good. So it's just like now he's probably gonna ask for more superficial stuff, and it's just all like, okay, fine, like say that you're gonna take the weird horror angle that Judgment did, like they turned Polnareff's sister into like this weird like monstrous zombie type thing. And it's just like, okay, fine. Like, say you have Josuke and he was all like, oh, let me get some fresh Air Forces. And the Air Forces turn into, like, shoes with teeth. It's like, bro, he's smacking the hell out of Judgment.
Just Michael Jordan just shows up and he starts bawling him out.
Yeah, when Michael Jordan shows up to just be like, here you go, Josuke. He's like, what?
Jordan 4s?
Michael Jordan!
hits the crossfade with him. Fucking Crazy Diamond. Like, oh, shit. Judgment wouldn't be any different from Silver Chariot. Like, he should be fine here. He should be like, oh wow, they're just like monsters, and then just proceeds to clock Judgment in the face, and then finds the user under the pond. He should be fine.
I think that stand would be better off if it could do like its own wishes and like just make stuff up to like help contribute to the fight. Like it's just like, oh hey, let me summon like a Dio if anything. But it's like, no, he's just a goof.
Yeah. High Empress. Now this one's interesting. It's surprisingly pretty comparable to Star Platinum if you really want to get into it.
High Priestess?
Yeah, a little bit, because it's all like, oh, he's really fast and shit. And so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but if it eventually turns into that monstrous form like previously.
Oh, like the big face in the water with the teeth and everything like that.
Full power, like this. It's crazy diamond, more like breaking diamond. So he it should be fine.
I think what's so amazing about this situation is like, I think with the idea is that like Josuke with his intelligence and restoration should be able to clear out of the fight a bit earlier.
Yeah,
but if put into the same position and he's just all like, oh, all I gotta do is just mash these teeth up.
I just have to mash A, bro. That's all I have to do. Just mash. Yeah, like just mash, bro.
That's literally what Jotaro was like put into. He was just like, now, hold on. This is my favorite part of the game.
Josuke, being the guy he is, probably ends up repairing her teeth. Like Josuke's like, oh shit, I feel bad. That's the only difference here. It's like, oops,
because he's gonna come back on land and he's gonna see like, ooh,
damn, she was kind of hot. Ooh, my bad.
I didn't know it was like this. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm so sorry.
High Priestess is fine. It more or less is just Jotaro again, but like he probably would do it slightly faster just because of restoration. Now Geb is a problem.
No, I legitimately, because here's the thing, like, because this isn't a stand where it's just like, oh, let's send him back, like, because that is just the stand.
Yeah, like even Jotaro had problems. Everybody had problems with Geb. Just because
everyone had problems. Like
he's kind of that guy. Like unironically, like probably one of the strongest like stands up until this part. Like has to be top.
No, I agree.
Like
especially from that distance. Yeah. Like especially from
that distance, and he's without Iggy.
Yeah,
but just because how sand works. You could, in theory, make stepping stones or something out of the sand. You just reconstruct it back into rocks because sand is literally just grounded up rocks. So you could make an argument if Josuke is quick enough. He's like, shit, I gotta like fucking something to stand on, or like makes like a little pillar for himself, or like a wall. Like he encapsulates himself or something. Like he could make a fighting chance for himself here, but due to Geb's range, Josuke actually probably has a problem here. Like. He doesn't have Iggy. And maybe if you want to say you bring anybody else with them, like nobody in part 4 has that range except for like Act 2, but even then like it'd be like Josuke, he's over there, or how the hell am I going to get over there? My bad. But it's just like it's like this is probably a scenario where I think maybe Geb wins. Endul probably actually wins here.
I think due to the long range. Because the idea is like, so what has to be given to Josuke is like the initial interaction, right? And there's going to be the initial interaction where he'll survive like the first one, right? He's like, okay, I've deflected in some way, I've acted quick, sure, but at this distance, how will I act going after this point? And he could like there is an argument to be made about. Oh yeah, he'd be able to like potentially like reconstruct the sand into something that'd be like more favorable to him. I think that's more on theory crafting, and it's like it's possible. Like Josuke is smart to do this thing, but I'm like, if we're gonna argue in the sense of like stuff that Josuke has previously done,
he really can't
I feel that it's like there's not really much to
do. Maybe he captured. Okay, this is an argument here that could make sense. Very similar to
Aqua Necklace and Angelo.
So similar to Aqua Necklace, you might get a case where Josuke like captures Geb if you think he's fast enough and like just shakes him. Like maybe, but. Geb was even a threat to Star Platinum, so the chances of that even happening are very low here. Like, I genuinely think high difficult win for Geb, unironically here. But if you really want to stretch it, maybe high difficult fight for Josuke too, depending on how you see it. But I'd probably personally go Geb, honestly, here, just due to the long range.
The case is that they have to close that huge gap between the two, and it's just not something
realistic here in this scenario.
Like realistic for Josuke. Yeah, no, honestly, like high difficulty for Gebdub.
Yeah,
like it's,
definitely. I'd have to agree here. Now with Oingo and Boingo, how do you want this to actually go down? Because now it's like a character's like completely different fate. I guess we can do like a Hamming and Emperor thing. If it's 1-on-1, do I really need to explain this here? Do I really?
I think when it came to the fights, we were technically like in 1-on-1 situations. And look, Boingo cool, but Oingo, like, it's just a guy. Like, it's not even
like man's like not even mid, bro. Like he's not even a threat. Like,
no, he's actually terrible. I can take like
one shots.
I'll pick some people on Earth to like
Mike Tyson
bro,
could probably beat him, bro. Unironically,
prime Mike Tyson probably knocks out Oingo
easily. Now hypothetically speaking here, since if we're gonna do like canon story, Emperor plus like Boingo, like Toth and Emperor, now that's a threat. Now that unironically back to back with Geb, I'd actually say Josuke could lose here. Maybe you could say you could bring up like a restoration wall ability here again for the Emperor argument. Like Emperor just like can't keep up with like a stand like Crazy Diamond, and so eventually would lead to Emperor losing and Toth. Boingo can't do anything because it's a fucking book or a literal book. So it's just all like game over. But if it's Oingo and Boingo in the original scenario they were put in, Josuke should be fine. I don't think it'd be any crazier. Like he's clocking that guy in the face. But if it's Emperor and Toth, so basically a whole horse and Boingo, there could be a threat there depending on how Toth is doing the fate / epitaph, I guess, in a sense, if you want to keep it in JoJo terms. Like the fate viewing could be a problem, but even how those fights went realistically, they weren't too crazy. So I think Josuke should be fine against Whole Horsey here again. So I don't know.
The thing about the prophecies of Toth,
they're really cryptic. Like you can't really understand.
Yeah, and Boingo can only really report it the way that he's perceiving it. When he was trying to help Whole Horse with it, he couldn't protect him from everything that was happening there. Dude got
quite literally a child.
Yeah,
yeah. So it should be fine. Josuke should be good. Now Anubis. Are we gonna go through all the Anubises or just Polnareff's Anubis? We're just gonna go for the high ball here because all previous Anubises should be
Shaka
easy.
Khan's Anubis. Yeah. Oh my god,
Shaka Khan.
I love Doug Araki these names, like because that's all I'm like yo, Shaka Khan was not fighting. They made through the fire, but okay. But so you have
all Anubises before Polnareff clear. I'm not even going to argue. Just clear them off the board. Josuke should be fine.
Like, it's like not on the table.
Anubis Polnareff highballed. This is actually probably like a high threat here. You thought Geb was a threat because of long range. Nah, this one actually might be a low key threat here. And the only reason why I'm probably going to say Josuke wins is just because restoration and probably making like a wall between them. But even then, like if we take a part 3 anime analysis here and just like unarmored Anubis Polnareff could become a massive threat here. Like Anubis Polnareff is like a legitimate threat to Star Platinum. Like Josuke, even like Jotaro even says like, yeah, I actually have to physically actually go all out here to beat Polnareff. And depending on how you see Josuke scaling, it might take a Rage Amp Hair Amp to actually beat him. So this actually, you might be able to convince me, and I don't know about you. Like Polnareff could win here, maybe.
I think especially considering the fact that like most of our JoJo scaling is based on this guy.
Yeah. It's weird.
It makes a lot of sense. I do think that Josuke does win. It's just that
it'd be a fucking fight. It would be a fight. Like there's no way. That's
Josuke's like one of the most closest fights we've seen, like
with
in Star Wars Crusaders. Yeah. Even with Jotaro. Yeah, period.
So yeah, he definitely would have a difficult fight there. No hands about it. Like that's a high diff. Josuke winning. You could maybe convince me. Polnareff wins depending on how you view it, because technically Polnareff did fight King Crimson, and that's a whole nutcase Shell to, you know, break that down. But, you know, there you go. Bassett or whatever, the one chick that made
it's Bastet, Mariah's Bastet.
Yeah. He should be fine. If he touches the socket,
right?
Yeah, if he touches the socket, there could be a problem, but like unironically, he could just destroy the things coming at him, like reconstruct them into like bracelets or like clothing, or like I don't know, like he could just destroy the metal and turn it into something else that's not gonna crush him to death. Like,
yeah, you become the metal attraction for these things. I don't know how much on the like to the point of like restoration has the ability to like even like maybe affect magnetic polarity, but I'm like I just see Josuke being able to work around both these things. He shouldn't have to deal with this the way that, because like the ones who were dealing with it was Joseph, and it's just like, well, no, duh, he was dealing with it.
He doesn't have a stand.
Like, do anything like.
And like Avdol only had a problem because Joseph was next to him and he didn't want to like injure Joseph. So I guess this is an interesting one depending on how you want to view it. I think it is Seth because it's based off of the Egyptian gods.
Oh yeah, because it's like Set, like the god's Set. Yeah.
So gets turned into a child. He's defenseless.
Yeah.
Well, actually, depending on how young he gets here, he technically still has Crazy Diamond. So he actually probably could fight him. But if he gets turned too young here, basically, you know, a literal child, he gets washed. Poor kiddo.
No, yeah.
So
I think the idea is like, how long is he
going
to potentially be in the shadow?
Yeah. So this is just up to chance. Adult, I guess maybe it's just teenage Josuke. Teenage Josuke clears. He should be fine because literally a child beat him, Jotaro. But if it's like kid
brolic kid Jotaro beat the hell out of Alessi. It was like
grown man.
What?
Grown man got beat by a child.
Grown man?
Teen Josuke, basically the Josuke we know, clears. Josuke with a stand as a kid should be fine in theory because now he knows.
Because he still retains his original knowledge. I don't think he like loses
he just gets turned to a kid with a weaker stand. So we technically don't know much about Kid Josuke with Crazy Diamond, so this is up to interpretation. But assumingly he just becomes weaker, he still has restoration, so he could probably pull some shenanigans off there. But he should be fine. But if it's any weaker, and maybe if he gets turned into a literal fetus, it's game over. So this is another scenario where it's just a stand that can one-shot you, and it's game. So the last one's gambling.
Osiris.
Gambling.
Is Josuke good at gambling?
No, he wasn't. He lost against Rohan, technically.
Yeah, he did.
So this is all technically luck of the... It's luck. I don't think we can really say who actually wins that without actually doing, like, simulating a poker game. But... Actually, no, wait a minute. Now I just thought of something. Well, he can redo letters and shit. And
actually, yeah, he can completely like change his cards and cheat like hell.
Yeah, never mind. He's cheating. He's cheating Darby.
Done like reconstruction into a whole different phrase before.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, as long as I think Josuke, I don't know, like all the JoJo characters for some reason have just like an inherent knowledge of just stuff. So I think Josuke would understand poker at least.
Yeah. Josuke should win a gambling fight. If it was just a regular fight, yeah, of course Darby's gonna.
He should be a good old cheater.
Yeah. So I guess we can do back-to-back Darbys here because I think it'd be thematically funny. Josuke's a gamer. He's gaming. I like unironically he should. I think he could win, but did Darby cheat in that fight? I can't remember, or was it only Joseph?
Because I think that's the thing about them. Like both of the Darbys, they're intelligent, but they kind of like to get it over the other person. But no, he was just really good at I think he just knew stuff that
Jotaro didn't.
Kakyoin didn't.
Yeah, he was getting teched.
Yeah, and I think the thing is he was very adamant that Jotaro was cheating, like, because I think he himself was just like, I just play that good.
What if, unironically here, Josuke could probably end up cheating here too, and like, I don't know, make something short circuit into like, I don't know, like, I feel like Josuke would cheat here. There's no way he wouldn't. If he's cheating with gambling and he's cheating with like changing letters, like he's basically forging stuff. If you can get really abstract with it, there's a lot of ways.
Crazy gaming. He could like restore because his restoration powers go a long way. It's like literally from his hand, he could undo the wiring in the other dude's control in Darby's controller.
Oh shit!
Without him even noticing.
Yeah, like it would be weird. Like
he's gonna be like, yo, my buttons aren't going through, and he's just like, oh, I don't know.
Hold on, button check. like if Joseph can do it, I definitely think Josuke can do it.
Josuke's doing it. Yeah. No, honestly speaking, yeah.
So, moving on to probably one of my favorite stands in Part 3, Horus and Pet Shop. This one, unlike with Iggy, I think Josuke can restore the ice to a previous state, making Pet Shop basically useless, I think, because it's not connected to the stand.
Because Horus is like cryokinesis, right? Just generating ice. But, like, with ice generation, Josuke can just be, like, he can just turn it into water or into vapor and just be like,
now you're just moist.
This bird sucks at fighting.
In this case, Josuke's clearing. He should be able to outspeed him, out AP him. Probably even durability-wise, he should be fine here compared to Iggy. And, like, he can restoration the ice to making back into water, or just vapor in general, or just back into the regular air. Like, it's basically
he can even send it, like, back.
Are you saying he's airing? He's going to just reflect it back onto him? That would actually be wrong.
Realistically, because we've seen, like, how he works in general. It's like, say if the ice is coming towards him, not only can he break it up, and like say he breaks up like a big pillar into a bunch of shards, he can just restore it to like, oh yeah, send back to user, like mail this thing back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that Pet Shop would have like much to do against that.
Yeah, it's cleared. Are we going to talk about Kenny G? Because I'm going to be honest, what the hell did he do?
Kenny G. So this snapped carrot now.
I don't know what he does.
He spawned an environment. Like it was an illusion. Like,
that's right. Yeah. No, I think there's just not enough information here to go off of, but like Josuke should just be able to like walk around and like find Kenny and just be like, here's a punch to the face, you loser, and then it's just game over.
it's like he can't detect him, but like I feel like there's more to do, just like reversion of the entire building itself. Even if it is an illusion, like that means like there is a physical aspect somewhere in it that he can mess with.
Yeah. So I guess moving
we're on to Cream.
Yes, we've entered the final stage, the oh shits. So this is everything previous to this was just like spitballing ideas basically. But when it comes to stands like Cream and eventually the world here, this is where you actually have to get into the scaling of it. Cream is I'm assuming this is Vampire Cream, so this is actually like him at his strongest.
Yeah.
This is, if I'm going to leave it cut and dry here, Josuke is probably not making it out of this due to the fact that Cream was able to fight Iggy, Avadol, and Polnareff all at the same time. And only when Polnareff had a rage amp was he able to be like, okay, or like a resolve amp here. He was like, all right, I'm gonna break you in half, which is, by the way, one of my favorite scenes in JoJo in the manga, just because how raw it was. But like, how Cream works, like maybe it's more or less the hand scenario, I guess, if you really want like an example to like use it from, because like he could make up barriers and stuff to fight him and stuff, but like it's interesting. Like Cream's really, really powerful. It's just, you know, him just randomly going in different spots is like the weakness here. But like, unless Josuke can figure out he's a vampire, which I'm assuming he doesn't actually have the knowledge here to do that, like Josuke is gonna have an actual problem here, unless maybe like you rage amp him at the start for whatever reason. You gave him the like resolve boost before like Cream can like be put, like Cream can actually, you know, put Vanilla Ice in himself. Like more or less once that starts, it's basically game over. But like maybe like in the fight it kind of alludes that he is a vampire, so Polnareff is able to like figure it out. But like this is a really difficult one because there's little things you have to figure out. Like scaling wise, they should be about even. Maybe Josuke is a bit stronger, but like ability wise, like Cream is just basically the hand but like a downgrade, but like it's still, you know, comparable to that hand. I made a whole video on that, by the way. So it's just like it's really up in the air. Honestly, I'd say Cream because it's more consistent, because you have to make like some really weird narrative choices with Josuke. But yeah, I'd have to go with Cream here. I'd really
honestly speaking, the only way, because Polnareff was mentally defeated.
Yeah, he was
before this. Like, he was all like, "No, this is it. I can't do anything. I've got nothing." And it was like realistically speaking, it was like low diff for Vanilla Ice. Like, he was not bothered by this.
If it was quite literally, if I'm going to explain it for the audience if they don't understand, if it was at nighttime, like Jotaro was fighting Dio, it was game over. They weren't winning. It's the cream is really powerful.
Yeah, it's literally, there wasn't any way for them to go about it. It was great timing, very convenient for Polnareff.
Polnareff had luck on his side. That's why he won. Maybe you can say Josuke pulls maybe like a really cool intelligence feat here because he's done it in the past in part 4, but like I highly doubt it. I really do. So the next fight is probably what everybody's been wondering. Josuke versus Dio, Crazy Diamond versus the world. Unironically here, different here. Kaleb is a threat because of its ability, but the world is weird because the world is comparable to Star Platinum. Star Platinum is comparable to Crazy Diamond. And like the scaling I brought up in the beginning of the video, if base to base they are similar, a Rage Amp Josuke, in theory, could technically, thanks to his durability too, should be able to at least be beating a base Dio the world. So no Awakened Dio here. He should actually give Dio a run for his money and could actually do some shit. And we know Josuke is pretty durable here. So like, you know, time stop, gut punches him, puts him in the donut club. Could happen here, but Josuke is durable here and fast enough so maybe he could defend him against himself. Like, the world argument here is crazy because it's just basically how you see Dio. Is Dio going to be an egotist and a narcissist and be like, yeah, I'm just going to play with you? Or is it going to be like, I'm actually going to use the world seriously here? But like, scaling wise, if you actually do amp Josuke up here, the fight actually gets pretty actually even, surprisingly here enough. So it's just like, you could say, and unlike Cream here, mental gymnastics, Josuke actually giga-brains Dio and actually pulls off, originally in the fight, Jotaro is on the ground. He's pretending to be dead. Josuke could do this. That's not unlike him to do. And boom, Rage Amp or just Resolve Amp Josuke, I'm assuming here, depending if we want to really highball him, just domes Dio. He could win here. Like that, like unironically, previous to this recording session, I had brought up some scaling with Jotaro to Kaleb. But like, a Rage Amp Josuke should be kind of near comparable to a Rage Amp Jotaro by the barelies. So a regular Dio versus a Josuke with a Dio that's not really taking it seriously could win. And I mean by the barelies could win. Like, I mean like Josuke's near death. Like, it's probably almost a damn near draw, like near death scenario here. So maybe. Because
I'm considering, I'm like, yeah, one of the things that really did contribute to
Jotaro winning was because Dio just
Jotaro win. Like, at least like one of the things like, besides the fact that like he also had time stop was like,
it's a major factor, by the way, major factor.
It's an enormous factor, but he was really getting into Dio's head during those moments, because Dio would stop time and was like, I'm gonna punch this guy so hard, but then like, oh, his finger moved and it's like, whoa, hold on, and it threw him off. He was like in his own head for a grip. I think because one of the things too that did help in the Jotaro fight was that like, not only did he have the magnets thing that helped, he double threw him off because he was like, oh, he can't actually stop time.
And it actually
like, no, he can. Yeah, it was like a double mind brain like smash. Like, he hit on that.
Yeah.
So it's like, ah, man.
And another thing very similar to the fight against Kira is that Josuke could probably, unironically, if Josuke's in a corner, could be like, oh yeah, remember that glass I broke earlier? Boom, your neck sliced off, or something crazy like that. This is where you can probably give like Josuke probably like a huge benefit of the doubt and like set up restoration like crazy to fight the world. But you know, it's still the world. Time stop is still ridiculously busted. Dio, to this day at least, in terms of my scaling and how I run it on my channel, like Dio is still like top 10 strongest stands in the series, bar none. Depending on how you see it, you could give it to Josuke because of this like hypothetical gauntlet scenario, maybe.
I think it's like matchup dependent. You have these two and it's just like, this is Josuke post DIU, and he has an understanding of time stop existing. And let's say that I feel like it would be cheating to be like, oh, like, let's say he has knowledge of Dio, but like let's not. Like let's say that he just has knowledge of Star Platinum's time stop. He understands it as like a function. Like he understands it as like how it exists and how it's present. So with that in mind, he's most likely have thought that there's something to do against it potentially.
Yeah, you can make an argument here. It's really fishy, and you really have to like giga wink Josuke, but he could fight base Dio in the world. But of course, Awakened Dio is still a thing. If it's Awakened Dio, no, just be quiet. Just no. I'm sorry, Josuke.
Unfortunately, the Joestar lineage ends there.
Yeah, it's over. Not even funny. Like Awakened Dio is cracked.
I think this video's definitely got long enough. We have packed on a good amount of time.
Yeah, a little bit. It's almost damn near an hour 40. I'll give my kudos to myself. But if you liked anything I said here on Kaleb's video, scaling wise or just opinion wise, I basically do this for a living on my channel. I like scaling these characters. I like making up really wacky scenarios and just having fun with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as a whole. And if you're interested with, I guess, any of the more like top tier stands, I do cover them on my channel as well. I know the Wonder Review guy here, I'm not gonna brag, but but if you're interested in me, go find me. If you've made it this far in the video, if you've definitely made it this far in the video, because I'm assuming this thing's like over an hour long.
No, if they're this far in the video, I'm
go
like,
subscribe.
You're committed.
Go subscribe to me, please. Like you're already this far. Just do it. Subscribe to Kaleb if you're this far, or like the video.
I think definitely, yeah, because Metas is almost at 100K.
Yes,
that'd be great.
For the love of God, give me the plaque, baby. Give me it.
Dog, yeah. All right, but yeah, it's been nice talking to y'all about this. Hopefully, we'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. See you later, boys.
Yeah, no, definitely. That'd be we have to do something.
We have to. I have to.
All right,
Deuces.
peace out, y'all, and Godspeed.